probably a common theme that you've heard over the past year or two is that we're trying to solve UX. If we solve UX, we'll bring the next billion users on board. But agents and bots don't care about UX. We've built the perfect infrastructure for them. Everything is on chain, everything is interoperable. They can jump between protocol and protocol. They can jump between chains now. All the infrastructure is perfect, and the AI agents don't care about UX.
I'm here with Alexis from Safe. How you doing, man?
Great. How about yourself?
Great. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
All right.
In this very beautiful venue. So we're here at the Lisbon Red Cross, or Portugal Red Cross, which is a historical Red Cross venue, I suppose. We're here for the Biddle conference, organized by the folks who also do Biddle Asia, Erica, which I'm sure a lot of people know. And yeah, we're going to talk about Safe and what you guys are doing in the AI agent space, and how you guys are playing a role there.
Sure. So yeah, thanks for having me on the podcast. So I think you probably would have spoken to Lucas maybe 6 months-ish. Yeah, 6 months ago. So we've been really busy shipping over at Safe. We've been working on a bunch of different initiatives. SafeNet is one that we announced a couple of months ago. We're trying to bring the world's GDP on chain. So moving far and beyond Safe Wallet, which is what most people know it for, I think, what a lot of the big DAOs, treasuries, institutional fund managers, and a lot of enterprises use us, over to a more infrastructure play, where we're using a lot of the smart account logic, but introducing a lot of new technology through SafeNet to do exactly that, just bring the world's GDP on chain. So that's one aspect and facet of it. On the other side, we have our integrations team that works on empowering different types of builders and protocols across Web3 to use and benefit from smart accounts. Of course, our smart accounts are open source, neutral, modular. They're adaptable, and they're really good for a bunch of different use cases. So even if you are not using the Safe today, if you're a brand new user in crypto, if you think that Safe is not a product that you've used before, you might be mistaken. So if you've ever tried betting on Polymarket, you've probably used a Safe. If you have a World App account, you probably have a Safe. If you've tried Gnosis Pay or HQ or a bunch of other over 200 different applications are powered by Safe smart contracts. And then finally, what I'm super excited about, and I think we're going to spend most of the time talking about today, is what we're doing in the intersection between Safe and AI, and a lot of the different developments that have been happening there, and how we're trying to position Safe as a key infrastructure for AI agents moving into 2025.
Cool. So I think it would be helpful to get a bit of a broad view into what exactly is happening in the AI space right now. Like, a lot of people are talking about like AI agent.
Yeah.
There's the whole like AI meme coin thing that's happening as well, and there's also kind of crypto infrastructure and crypto rails being used for like as a marketplace for AI infrastructure projects like Akash, IONET, and there's like, you say AI and crypto, and it needs a lot of different things. So maybe like dissecting or boiling down, like what are the different kind of verticals within crypto and AI, and then later we can get into how you guys are addressing those specifically.
Sure. So if I'm not mistaken, the general broader market for crypto and AI sits around $14 billion market cap now. And this includes AI agents, AI infrastructure, which could be data services, processor services, kind of deep in types of services. So it's a very convoluted term, and there's a lot happening. But I think where we've seen the most interesting and exciting developments in the past maybe 2 months or so is in the AI agent space specifically. So NVIDIA had its announcement a couple of weeks ago, where they announced a bunch of new processors and technologies coming into the market, and the CEO was quoted as saying the AI agent will be a multi-trillion-dollar market. And here at Safe, we believe the same. There's a lot of opportunities opening up, and I think I've not been this excited in crypto since maybe the DeFi renaissance, for example, when you're seeing all these cool applications coming on chain. There's endless possibilities and optionality that opens up, and I think we're entering into a new type of an economy where it's controlled by, let's say, synthetic actors, which have their own initiatives, their own goals, purposes, and are creating a lot of the transaction on chain. So when we're talking about different kinds of subcategories, I think what we're most interested in, maybe we can focus on, is the different subcategories within AI actors. Maybe what kind of technologies are out there today, how some of them are utilizing smart accounts and controlling funds on chain, and then how we see the space developing. I think that's what's more exciting for us and where we're trying to establish ourselves, essentially.
Yeah. So, like, what is an AI agent as you see it?
Great
Like,
question.
and what can AI agents achieve? Yeah, I've played around a little bit with like AI agents outside of crypto,
Mhm.
and I've played around with like AI agents in crypto, and I think like it feels like crypto has a very interesting and unique use case for AI agents, but it's a much broader
Yep.
a market. Like, we're not talking about crypto here. We're talking about like automating and facilitating all sorts of processes, like business processes, anything from, booking a restaurant to, like automating a workflow, to like automating transactions on a blockchain. So like for people who are coming into this space, like how do you think about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good question. It's quite a lot of people ask what's the difference between a bot and an agent, really.
Yeah.
And I think a really good framework that I've come across in some research papers, and I've seen some other founders of other protocols repurpose, is this 5 steps to agency, essentially. Starting from, let's say, step 0, which is closer to what we would consider in Web 2 or up until 6 months ago, a bot, let's say, or that's what we would call colloquially, is we have agents that are read-only. So these agents can query data either on chain or off chain. They have access to Twitter, anything like that. They can interact on Twitter, make funny jokes, react to your posts, but they don't have any access or control of any funds on chain or any link back to any kind of wallet. They might have a public wallet, which the developer controls. Maybe you can send funds to it. That's their treasury, whatever, but it's more iconic, for example. That would be a level 0, let's say, agent. Then moving on into recent developments, we have level 1 agents, which can actually propose transactions. So what they do above and beyond to a level 0 agents is that they can read on-chain and off-chain data, that they can actually use that data to make some assumptions or some decisions based on the LLM model that's backing them. And then they can propose transactions, for example.
Yeah. So like, here, you should do this. Like,
Yes.
now some human needs to do the action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We think this is a good investment, or maybe there's an arbitrage opportunity for you here. Different kinds of opportunities it can spot and suggest to you. So if you're thinking about a safe setup, is like having a safe multi-sig, but one of the users is a proposer, which would be the AI agent, and the developer would be the executor. So it would be a 1 out of 2, but with limited control. Moving on to a level 2 agent, you have a reactive executor. So you can pre-program different kind of actions that this agent is allowed to take on itself, but these are in a very limited fashion. They are reactive, so you've already pre-programmed all the opportunities. So if you see this arbitrage opportunity here, take this execution, a bunch of different things. Again, taking signal from on-chain and off-chain action.
Like some set of transaction types that an agent can execute.
Exactly.
Yes.
Stage 3, we have the proactive.
Wait, wasn't that stage 3?
So we start from 0.
Oh, we start from 0.
Start
Right.
from 0, which is more bot-like, which is a bit tricky.
Yeah.
Stage 3, we start having a bit more of what we would call intelligent AI agency, which is the proactive executor. So the proactive executor agent doesn't necessarily need predefined steps and actions. It has a broader mission or overview and can take actions that will align with its wider mission. Of course, this agent will still have a lot of guards, rules, limits, and different other kinds of things, safeguards, in order to make sure that, it's not being taken advantage of. There's no malicious actors trying to influence what the agent does on chain with its funds. But yeah, this type of agent has a mission, a purpose, and a goal that it's trying to achieve.
I think I know where stage 5 is.
Well, we still have stage 4.
Oh, okay.
Still have stage 4, which is...
I take notes here.
We are just entering the space. There's a current of very cutting-edge teams that are working on stage 4 type agents.
Yeah.
And these are agents that are running in trusted execution environments, have full autonomy of the treasury or wallets they control, and within a certain space of limited actions, they can do whatever they wish with the funds they control, and they can interact on-chain and off-chain. The reason you have them running in trusted execution environments, which are essentially hardware devices, for someone who is familiar with crypto, but maybe not so familiar on the hardware side, is similar to a ledger, let's say, not exactly in the technology or anything like that, but it's a cryptographic device, which includes a secure enclave. And through that enclave, you can prove that the agent holds its keys and manages their own decisions, essentially. So it's pretty much a fully autonomous agent. And to wrap it up, we have stage 5, which is an agent that has full, consistent, long-term memory. So it's got the personality, it's got the goal, it's got the mission, it doesn't deviate from that. It holds its keys long-term and has ways in order to manage, recover, and everything like that. But it can also create its own smart account. So it doesn't need a dedicated wallet. It can launch its own wallets. It can create its own smart accounts to interact with on-chain different kinds of activities or actors. And then finally, yes, it has access to upgrade its own code cryptographically.
Oh.
So it's close to what we call or we think as AGI. It's an agent that can upgrade itself based on input that it's seeing on chain, off chain, through its LLM model.
That's really interesting. So I like this like kind of clear distinction because it allows us to really sort of identify like a specific agent or a specific application, the level of autonomy, and also I think it also in the early stages sort of aligns with the level of potential risk that any type of agent might engage. The risk to the funds, essentially, or like the risk of the broader set of actions that an agent can take.
Yeah.
What's the state of the art right now? What are the agents that you've seen at these different levels and like the types of things that was possible?
Without going into too much detail, because I've been speaking with a lot of teams behind the scenes and they're working on a lot of cutting edge stuff. So I don't want to name any names particularly, but there's a lot of different agents that are moving towards stage 4. So running fully autonomously in trusted execution environments, having consistent memory, being able to act and take authoritative action based on goals that they've set for themselves or have had maybe light guidance from everyone else. But it's across the industry, like you said, there's a lot of kind of meme agents, let's say, who are just accumulating value and treasuries and everything like that because of the mimetic actions or influence that they have on Twitter or on chain or anything like that. So we see a wide spectrum of different teams focused on, some of them are really focused on pushing the boundaries of innovation. Some of them just want an agent that's popular, maybe it's generating art or content or people can engage with. There's different ways you can engage with the blockchain as an agent that don't need to necessarily push the edge of the technology. What's quite interesting and what we're seeing a lot of requests come into Safe is how can these agents make more use of smart accounts? And essentially when we think about the development of agents, think a bit as their kids. They're financially illiterate. They have access to a bunch of information that they've got from their LLMs, whether you're training them on Llama or OpenAI or whatever, but they don't really know how to manage their funds on chain, how to stay safe, and how to not lose those funds. So with Safe, and the beauty of the Safe smart accounts is that they're fully modular, they're interoperable, and you can program them and change them as you want. And the idea is that as you're moving from stage 0 all the way up to stage 5, you can set up super restrictive, super protective safes where starting off, the agent doesn't have any access to the fund, then limited access. Then you can have different guards that check pre and after different transaction suggestions. If it's a safe transaction to do, you can have time locks, delays, a bunch of different kind of training wheels that you can slowly take off as the agent develops. And that's where we really see the cutting edge of the technology now, is how you integrate safe smart contracts into your agent framework in order to have the runway for them to take those training wheels off as they progress and develop.
There's, I think, a distant future that may not be that distant, where most transactions on chain are happening via agents.
Yeah.
Because once you have this flywheel starts taking off, where agents are becoming smarter and smarter at identifying opportunities, whether those are arbitrage opportunities, trading opportunities, investment opportunities, even launching, you could imagine an agent deciding, looking at, all of the sort of meme coins and all of the, sort of retail oriented types of tokens that are being launched and deciding, okay, well, there's like a niche opportunity here. I'm going to launch a coin.
Hmm.
Right? So like these are all kind of, I think, things that will happen at some point,
Yeah,
even if they haven't happened yet. Um, and where essentially most, or if not all, transactions on blockchains are happening via agents, just because as humans, we'll just not have the breadth of the data sets that the AIs have. Um, do you think about that, and like, what does that mean for the industry?
sure,
What does that mean for, I think, like just global finance and
sure.
kind of like geopolitics? I mean, this extends, I think, really outside of even just the crypto industry.
Yeah, great question. So I think you've been doing podcasts for a while. Probably a common theme that you've heard over the past year or two is that we're trying to solve UX. If we solve UX, we'll bring the next billion users on board. But agents and bots don't care about UX. We've built the perfect infrastructure for them. Everything is on chain. Everything is interoperable. They can jump between protocol and protocol. They can jump between chains now. All the infrastructure is perfect, and the AI agents don't care about UX. So I think we're going to leapfrog that. If you see in Dubai, Jeremy Allaire of Circle said that he thinks within the next 2 years, 30% of all stablecoin transactions will be happening on chain. As a matter of fact, on the Gnosis chain, there's a team, Autonolas, which runs its own bots. And in peak days, it does up to 60% of all transactions on chain are agent-to-agent transactions.
Wow.
So yes, I do think we are entering a new type of synthetic agent-driven economy on chain. We don't know what this will look like. But as we transition from these meme agents, because a lot of these teams have accumulated so much value in market cap and funds and treasury, but they realize that they can't really sustain this if they don't build something real and if they don't return value to their users and back to the token. So I think the up and coming trend that we're going to see in the next 3 months is what's been coined recently as DEFAI, which is decentralized financial AI agents, basically. And this is where agents become more and more actively engaged across DeFi. So they're finding different opportunities to create value, add value, engage with, let's say, prediction markets, because who's better at getting predictions and assessing real world information and assessing what value to assign to it than agents really, right? So yeah, I think it's going to be an explosive space. There's so many things happening. It's so exciting. I don't really know where it's going to go, but yeah, we're in it for the journey. How's this?
I want to get to where like what Safe is doing here, but before we do that, just maybe peeling more of the layers of the onion here. Technically, like, are these agents using some of the models that most people are familiar with, like GPT or Llama? Like, what, or are there custom models also being built?
Sure. So today, most agents are using, I think the most popular framework is Llama. ChatGPT is something that's being used, although as I understand, it's harder to jailbreak, although it's much more performant if you do manage to do it. People that I've been speaking to are very excited about OpenAI's O3. They think that that will be a significant stepping stone towards essentially having agents being able to upgrade themselves and take much smarter decisions than human counterparts could be.
So O3 is an improvement on the O1 model,
Yeah,
which has this ability to, I guess, think, or it has an ability to improve its own prompts, essentially.
yeah, to rationalize, I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I understand, I think it's in closed beta now. I don't think anyone I've spoken to has actually seen it or used it, but everyone seems to know someone who has.
Okay.
And yeah, it's really scary, impressive stuff, is the feedback I'm hearing.
Okay. So a lot of folks are using Llama, but O3 seems like this kind of improved rationalization
Yeah.
would make more sense in an AI agent for like crypto use case perspective.
Yeah, so it's all about fine-tuning these different models that are out there. A lot of teams are actively working on and do want to use their own models, but there's a lot of problems there that we've not quite solved, either just through the traditional AI space or just through, yeah, blockchain, essentially. There's distributed ways that you can build and distribute your own kind of model that you can train your agent, but they're just not as competitive right now or cost-effective as these larger models. So I think we'll see a synergy or a congregation towards these larger models. And then when it becomes a bit cheaper and a bit more effective to build out your own model, then there'll be a bit more, yeah, transition towards that.
Okay. let's talk about Safe
Sure.
and how you guys are planting your stake in this new emergent vertical.
Sure. So it's something that we've been super excited about and working very intently over the past few weeks, developing a comprehensive strategy about how we're going to work closer and deliver more value and access towards safe smart accounts for AI agents. So our thesis is that smart agents need smart accounts, essentially. Like I mentioned previously, we have this concept of an agent has like a child. You provide them, they have all these financial products or credit cards, everything like that for, under 12 to 16, everything like that, where you give them a bit more limits and capacity and flexibility. Similar to that, we want to provide agents with smart accounts that allow them to have more on-chain expressivity, flexibility, creativity as they develop and grow. So what we've been doing is working and having different types of conversations with all the top AI agents in the space today. There's about 5 or 6 notable teams that are building really open source, either pushing the different fronts of technology, have lots of big treasuries. They want to create smarter agents. So we're helping them understand how safe could be used to do that, because we're at a stage and advantage that we've been around for so long. I think Safe Smart Contracts, the first version was about 7 or 8 years ago now. We secure over $100 billion. Over $7 billion is transacted every month from Safe Smart accounts. We account for about 3% of all transactions on Ethereum. 0.01%, I think, of GDP is the equivalent in Safe. So we're a super well-known, well-used account. It's all open source and it's all integratable and easy to access for agents. It's most importantly, if you look at our foundational rules at Safe, is that we're neutral, we're interoperable, we're safe, and we're permissionless. So an AI agent doesn't need to ask anyone to come and create its own safe smart account, essentially. So there's a bunch of different initiatives, and we're also going to be running a hackathon in February, which is very exciting. We've got some super exciting partners that we're going to be announcing. So at the time of recording this podcast, this has not yet been announced, but yeah, super exciting. And hopefully by the time this is out, it'll be public information available for anyone. So if you are a builder in AI, do go check safe.global/AI. We're going to have really interesting tracks, and we're really going to push the boundaries of what's possible today with on-chain agents.
Cool. So, when you say like every AI has the ability to create its own safe, I mean, this feels like an obvious statement because anybody can create their own safe as long as they have access to the blockchain. They can create a safe. Are there specific things that that the safe infrastructure stack provides that is specifically tuned or caters to AI agents to make it easier for AI agents to create safes or to execute transactions, or is that even necessary? I mean, it seems like they could just
So,
do a wallet and create whatever they want.
so for AI agents themselves, no, it's not necessary. We already have all the infrastructure there, but we're not right there yet. Right now, we're at the early stages where a lot of developments lead the growth and the product and the development of the agent. So part of the initiatives that we're working on internally is developing better tooling and documentation to showcase different ways that these developers can use the existing framework that's out there already. So part of what makes Safe Smart accounts so interesting and useful for AI agents is the modularity. So within Safe, there's several different modules that we've developed internally. But because we comply and adhere to the 7579 ERC standard, which was developed by the Rhinestone team, which is another great team that we work with quite a lot, anyone can build out their own module and stick it on top of the Safe Smart contract. There's already about 25 to 30, I believe, different independently developed modules developed within the Rhinestone framework that can be attached to a safe. And in the future, we think there'll be hundreds, thousands, many of those specifically catered towards AI agents. So we're going to be looking into how we can contribute into open source libraries that already cater towards AI agents, how we can make it more accessible for developers within the crypto space. But also you need to consider we have a lot of developers coming from AI, and they're more familiar with Python, with different frameworks. So yeah, just making it much, much easier for everyone to access the full capabilities and possibilities of, say, smart accounts.
Hmm. What do you see as like the most interesting opportunities right now for crypto users and traders, arbitrageurs who are looking at AI agents, thinking like, okay, there's an opportunity here to make some money, to
Yeah.
really be early in the space, and kind of yeah,
So obviously not financial advice. Masari put a really good,
light advice.
yes, life advice. Masari put a really good visual out just before the end of the year, where they're comparing the rise of AI agents and the market cap that they've dominated to DeFi Summer 2021. And if you look at that diagram, if we project that it might have a similar growth rate, we have about a 10 to 15x growth rate expected within the next 6 to 12 months. So I'm personally, of course, very bullish on where the space is going to go. And I think that generally, if you have exposure to the space in one way or another, you're more likely, yeah. If the space grows, you want to be growing with it.
Yeah.
Now, when you're looking more specifically in terms of what's a good agent to invest in and what might not be a good long-term agent to invest in, of course, it's all the usuals. Do your due diligence on the team. Do they have actual AI experts and people with crypto experience and DeFi experience and everything else? Have they shipped? Have they delivered in the past, or this is their first project? Betting on the winners is probably a better way forward than betting on the smaller teams right now, just because the winners are typically winners for a reason. It's much more appealing and attractive to try to find the next agent that's going to do 100x. But realistically, I think over the long term, I mean, you're the investor here, so maybe you agree here, it's probably safer for someone who's just coming into the space to, yeah, place their bets on the already larger cap agents out there. And if you are interested, it's a very developing space. What's great about this intersection about AI and crypto is a lot of the things are being built open source. So you can go see the GitHub repos, you can go see the white papers, you can go see what the terminals of each agent, how they're thinking, how they're interacting, how they're making decisions. So it's really not this kind of Wizard of Oz situation, which a lot of people think it is. A lot of things are being built in the open, and you can assess the progress different agents are making and then make your own assessment as to what valuation you would assign that agent.
Yeah. Okay. And from a developer's perspective, are there like low-hanging fruit things that developers can do to like build things that are useful? Like what types of things can developers build that are missing, or were there opportunities, you say?
Yeah, so part of the hackathon that we're going to be running next month is that we've identified about 15 to 20 different tracks or opportunities for developers to come in and improve the space. There's a lot of opportunity to improve tooling and interaction between different types of agents and agent frameworks and the blockchain. So if you have crypto experience, that's probably more for you. There's niches to be had, such as gaming. There's going to be a lot of demand in gaming for these types of autonomous AI agents and perhaps managing in-game currency and everything like that. So yeah, I would say there's endless opportunities. We're going to be showcasing about 15 of them that we've come up with that we think are quite interesting, exciting, and need solving. And these are going to be attached to bounties by different ecosystem members across crypto and AI. So yeah, keep a lookout on the website. And we think if you're a developer today, there's more opportunity than ever for you. So yeah, focus on AI, focus on crypto, focus on smart accounts, and I think you'll do well this year.
Yeah. And at which point do developers become also? I mean, like at some point, we have these level 5 agents that are also building software
Yeah.
and also developing tooling and kind of leapfrogging the developer,
Yeah.
leapfrogging the human in the interaction. What do you think that looks like?
I mean, there's agents that can do podcasts now. There's agents that have music. There's
Yeah.
agents that can do partnerships. I don't know. So yeah, it's where do we fit into this economy? I think is the question you're trying to ask, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure. We're building all this infrastructure for the agents, and they're soon going to be more autonomous than we think or we expect. And where do we fit in? I'm not too sure. Will blockchains be useful for us? Yes, I think so. If you look at the foundation of why a lot of us, I think, came in, just the permissionless, the openness, the ability to interact across the world seamlessly, interoperably, is something that is always going to be useful to a lot of us. And of course, one of the largest projects that we work with is AI related, is WorldCoin, now renamed World. And they're building a framework where real humans, through a proof of humanity system that they've developed, are first-class citizens on the blockchain. So they're thinking a couple of steps ahead. Of course, side project by Sam Altman from OpenAI, so maybe he has some alpha or insight there. But yeah, they've already developed a system to identify, recognize, and reward real humans on the blockchain. So in a space where most of the transactions are happening agent to agent, maybe we do have some kind of advantage, or maybe there is some value accumulation that goes back to the human.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
No worries. Really good speaking.